Do you want to know how to make your live or dead bait more effective? Well, I've run an experiment over the last 2 months, and I'm going to take you through the steps that lead to the conclusion. Stay tuned. We all love scent. Who doesn't love scent? But you normally put this on anything but live or dead bait. But we know scent works. So I've got an experiment I ran since the middle of August through the end of October, and it has to do with adding the best way to add scent to live or dead bait. Now, it starts with the dollar store, of course. You can get these scouring pads, a whole bunch of them, for $1 at the dollar store. And what I had proven earlier, a couple years ago, is that if I took a little piece of scouring pad and put it either above or below my live or dead bait, imbued it with scent, then fish would be attracted. In fact, I even caught a fish on the hook that only had the scouring pad with the scent on it. So I got to thinking, is there a way to put that attraction closer to the bait? And let me take you through the various iterations I went through to reach the optimum solution. The first thing I tried was I cut a little piece of scouring pad and I tied it onto my dropper loop right next to the hook. And you can see that it hangs down underneath the hook, so it's not going to get interference when the fish comes to bite the lure. But I decided that this might present too big of a profile to the fish and they might be spooked out. And the proof of that was that I was getting more hits on my control, which was just a regular bottom rig, as opposed to this. So then I went to the next step. Same concept, but now I took the scouring pad, wrapped it around the hook, and then I used some magic thread or miracle thread. You can take your pick. They're both pretty much the same thing. And you know, I've got a great hack on how to keep shrimp on a jig head auger using this. And I would take the magic thread or miracle thread and basically just wrap that around the scouring pad, because you don't have to tie this off when you're done. You just snap it and then the scouring pad is on there. Well, that worked pretty good. So I went to the next level, and let me get my gear organized and I'll show you what that is. The final iteration was I got my fly tying stuff out and I tied the fly on using a little bit of this holographic tape. And by this time in the experiment, I learned that you don't really need a whole lot of the scouring pad. When you look at this level of the experience, you can see that I had a whole lot more on there. So it was a little bit bigger profile to the fish. Whereas this was nice and compact. And again, you can do the same thing with the magic thread. So I was catching more fish with each of these, with the exception of this one, than I was on the control. But just to jump ahead, well, I guess that's the end of the video anyway, just to give you the results, I was catching 7 fish using this and 5 fish on the regular bottom rig. So while it gave me a little bit of an advantage, it wasn't significant. So if you're thinking about adding, you know, scent to live or dead bait, well, this is an idea that kind of works, but it is kind of a hassle, especially if, you know, you want to do something nice and compact and easy like that. But, you know, it did work a little bit. So if you guys ever tried doing this with live or dead bait, have you tried adding scent to it? You know, part of me thinks that if I put blue crab on a mullet and the fish swims over, because they always get excited about eating blue crabs, and then they say, hey, it's just a mullet that smells like a blue crab, then they're going to get mad and they're going to chomp the mullet and it's going to work. So it kind of did it. I'll leave it up to you guys. What are your comments? Throw them down below. Thanks.